Saint Aaron of Brittany, a pioneer of early medieval monasticism and Christianization in Armorica. Introduction. Unveiling Saint Aaron of Brittany. Saint Aaron of Brittany, recognized by various names including Aaron of Aleth, Aaron of Cesambre, Aihran, and Eran, stands as a revered figure in the annals of Catholic sainthood, having lived during the 6th century. His enduring significance stems primarily from his instrumental role in establishing vital monastic communities and his profound impact on the Christianization of Armorica, the region known today as Brittany, France. His life story is a testament to deep spirituality, rigorous asceticism, and an unwavering commitment to divine principles, serving as a guiding light for countless spiritual aspirants throughout the centuries. The 6th century in Brittany was a dynamic period marked by significant demographic and religious shifts. Large numbers of Celts migrated from Britain to Armorica, seeking refuge from the encroaching Anglo-Saxon invaders. This migratory wave brought with it a distinctive form of Christianity, often referred to as Celtic Christianity, which developed unique practices and traditions across the Celtic-speaking world. Understanding Saint Aaron requires an appreciation for this vibrant historical context. Information concerning Saint Aaron's early life and even the precise details of his death remains sparse, often interwoven with elements of legend. This characteristic is common among hagiographical texts from the early medieval period, which were not primarily intended as factual biographies in the modern sense. Instead, these accounts served an edificatory purpose, designed to inspire faith, provide moral exemplars, and guide the laity towards orthodox Christian practices. The consistent veneration of Saint Aaron, despite the limited historical precision in his narratives, underscores the effectiveness of these hagiographical traditions. His story, as transmitted through these accounts, successfully conveyed spiritual ideals and cemented his foundational role in the nascent Christian landscape of Brittany. The persistence of his cult, even with these historical ambiguities, speaks to the powerful spiritual and cultural resonance his life held for the communities he served. The Hermit and the Abbot, Saint Aaron's life and monastic foundations. Saint Aaron's spiritual journey began with his origins in the British Isles, with some accounts pointing specifically to Wales as his birthplace. Certain historical perspectives suggest that he undertook a migration from Celtic Britain to Armorican Domnonia, a significant movement for many devout individuals of his era. Driven by a profound sense of spirituality, he initially chose a path of solitude, dedicating his life to God as a hermit. His early secluded existence took him to various locations, including areas near Lamballe and Plomergautier, before he ultimately settled on Cesambre Island. Cesambre Island, situated near Aleth, modern-day St. Malo, in Brittany, became the pivotal location for the establishment of his monastic communities. This small island possessed a unique characteristic. It was only accessible during low tide. This natural seclusion provided an ideal environment for the solitary spiritual pursuits Aaron initially sought. However, his growing reputation as a holy man attracted numerous spiritual seekers and disciples, transforming his solitary retreat into a burgeoning monastic community on Cesambre. In recognition of his presence and spiritual influence, the island itself was later named after him. Around the year 544, Aaron assumed the role of abbot, providing spiritual guidance and leadership to his fellow monks. Subsequently, he extended his mission by establishing another monastic community in the area of Aleth, near what is now St. Servan, part of St. Malo, a foundation that proved crucial in the broader Christianization of Brittany. As an abbot, Saint Aaron was renowned for his profound piety, his austere ascetic lifestyle, and his unwavering devotion to God. He embraced rigorous self-discipline, strictly adhering to monastic precepts, and his teachings emphasized prayer, contemplation, and self-denial as essential pathways to divine union. His life was characterized by simplicity and humility, always prioritizing the needs of others and extending kindness, compassion, and guidance to those who sought his counsel. The progression of Saint Aaron's life, from a solitary hermit to the leader of a communal monastic settlement, mirrors a significant evolutionary trend within early Christian monasticism. Initially, Christian monks often lived as solitaries, as the Greek root of monachos, solitary person, suggests. However, as more individuals embraced this way of life, they began to gather, forming structured communities governed by specific rules. This shift from purely eremitic, solitary, to cenobitic, communal, forms was vital for the institutionalization and widespread dissemination of Christian ideals. It allowed for organized spiritual guidance, collective worship, and more effective missionary endeavors. Aaron's personal journey thus exemplifies this broader historical development, demonstrating how individual spiritual fervor could organically lead to the formation of organized religious communities that were foundational to the spread of Christianity in regions like Brittany. Saint Aaron's earthly journey concluded around the year 552 AD in France. Despite the limited information available regarding his passing, it is widely believed that he died peacefully, leaving behind a profound legacy of holiness and spiritual enlightenment. A shared legacy, Saint Aaron and Saint Malo. The narrative of Saint Aaron of Brittany is inextricably linked with that of Saint Malo, his most prominent and influential disciple. Saint Malo is recorded to have visited Eran on Cesambre Island around the year 544. Under Aaron's direct mentorship, Malo flourished as a devout Christian and scholar, eventually achieving sainthood himself. Their relationship was not merely one of master and student, but a collaborative effort that profoundly shaped the religious landscape of Brittany. Together, Aaron and Malo are widely credited with laying the foundations of Christianity in Brittany, playing a pivotal role in the region's early Christian church. Their combined leadership and exemplary pious lives served as a powerful inspiration, drawing many to embrace monasticism and convert to Christianity. Saint Aaron's significance in this evangelization effort is further underscored by his association with Saint Samson of Dole, another major figure in the Breton Church, indicating a broader network of Christian pioneers working to establish ecclesiastical infrastructure in the region. A critical development following Aaron's death was Malo's succession to the spiritual leadership of the district, then known as Aleth. Malo was subsequently consecrated as the first bishop of Aleth, marking a crucial transition in the region's ecclesiastical organization. This clear line of succession from Aaron, the monastic abbot, to Malo, the formally appointed bishop, represents a significant step in the institutionalization of Christianity in Brittany. It illustrates the maturing of the early Christian presence, moving from a charismatic monastic leadership model to a more structured and hierarchical church organization. This evolution from a pioneering monastic center to a formal episcopal see demonstrates how the spiritual groundwork laid by figures like Aaron was consolidated and perpetuated through established church structures, ensuring the long-term governance and spread of the faith. The transformation of the region is further evidenced by the fate of Aleth itself. The city was later deserted, and the town of Saint Malo, named after Aaron's illustrious disciple, rose in its place, encompassing the island previously associated with Aaron's monastery. This naming convention and geographical shift permanently etched their shared legacy into the very fabric of the Breton landscape. Cesambre Island, a cradle of spirituality. Cesambre Island, a small landmass situated near Aleth, directly opposite Saint Malo in Brittany, France, holds immense geographical and historical significance, particularly in the context of early Christian monasticism. Its most distinctive feature, and one crucial to Saint Aaron's spiritual journey, is its tidal accessibility. The island was historically reachable on foot from St. Malo only during low tide. This natural phenomenon provided a degree of seclusion that was perfectly suited for a hermit's solitary existence. The island's name itself, Cesambre, is believed to derive from a Celtic term meaning the highest hill, and archaeological evidence indicates human habitation since the Neolithic period. Under Saint Aaron's spiritual guidance, Cesambre transformed into a vibrant monastic center. It was here that he established one of the earliest monastic communities in the region, attracting a steady stream of visitors and disciples drawn to his holiness. The island was subsequently named after him, a lasting tribute to his profound spiritual influence and presence. Over the centuries, Cesambre continued to be a haven for various hermits and housed a monastery for a period, alongside 5 small chapels, underscoring its enduring spiritual importance. The unique tidal accessibility of Cesambre Island was more than a mere geographical quirk. It represented a strategic advantage for the burgeoning monastic movement. This feature provided the necessary isolation for the rigorous ascetic practices and contemplative life sought by hermits like Aaron. The ebb and flow of the tide naturally regulated access, deterring casual visitors and maintaining a sense of separation from the secular world, thereby fostering an environment conducive to intense spiritual discipline. Simultaneously, during low tide, the island became accessible, allowing for controlled interaction, the influx of new disciples, and a necessary exchange of resources that enabled the growth and sustenance of a communal monastery. This delicate balance between isolation and accessibility was crucial for attracting followers and establishing a thriving spiritual center that could then exert its influence on the wider region. Thus, Cesambre's natural characteristics played a direct role in facilitating the evolution of Aaron's spiritual journey from pure solitude to communal leadership, cementing its status as a foundational cradle for early Breton monasticism. In later centuries, Cesambre's strategic location led to different historical developments. The island was fortified by Vauban in the late 17th century and subsequently used as a place of quarantine. Its military significance peaked during World War II, when it became a heavily bombarded part of the Atlantic Wall, enduring intense shelling and aerial attacks. Veneration and enduring influence. Saint Aaron's recognition as a saint, while ancient, provides a fascinating glimpse into the early processes of canonization within the Catholic Church. He is classified as a pre-congregation saint, meaning his sainthood was established through a popular vote of bishops. This method of recognition, which occurred around 571 AD, stands in stark contrast to the highly formalized and centralized procedures that would evolve in later centuries. The fact that the exact details of his canonization process are largely unknown is consistent with this earlier, less bureaucratic approach, highlighting the early church's reliance on local acclamation and episcopal approval for acknowledging holiness. This demonstrates that his veneration was deeply rooted in the community he served and among the bishops who bore witness to his sanctity, rather than being a top-down declaration from a distant authority. The commemoration of Saint Aaron's life is observed on differing dates. His feast day is celebrated on June 22nd in some calendars, while others, particularly in St. Malo, commemorate him on June 21st. He is venerated by both Roman Catholics and Eastern Orthodox Christians. While no specific patronage is widely attributed to Saint Aaron, some sources suggest he is regarded as the patron of a steadfast life. Regardless of a formal patronage, his profound influence as a spiritual guide and an exemplar of holiness continues to inspire individuals seeking a deeper connection with the divine. His life, characterized by solitude, prayer, and self-sacrifice, remains a powerful testament to enduring spiritual truths. The enduring legacy of Saint Aaron is evident in the various places dedicated in his honor. His burial site became a significant place of pilgrimage. Most notably, The town of Saint Eran in Lamballe, France, bears his name. Within this town stands the Église Saint Aaron de Lamballe, a Roman Catholic church dedicated to him, characterized by its Gothic Revival architectural style. Additionally, a parish church within the Diocese of Saint-Brook is also named in his honor, and numerous other churches throughout Brittany and beyond have been dedicated to him over the centuries. Historical tapestry: Celtic Christianity in Brittany. Saint Aaron's life and mission are deeply embedded within the broader historical and religious currents of Celtic Christianity, a distinctive form of Christian practice prevalent in the Celtic-speaking regions during the early Middle Ages. While scholarly debate exists on whether it constituted a unified Celtic church or a collection of unique practices within Western Christendom, its influence was undeniable. Key characteristics included a particular dating for Easter, a specific monastic tonsure, a unique system of penance, and a notable popularity for undertaking exile for Christ. Central to this expression of faith were the Celtic monasteries, which functioned as missional tidal pools. These monastic centers were instrumental in preserving and propagating the Christian faith, often evolving to replace traditional tribal structures as the hubs of community life. Monks within these communities embraced rigorous ascetic lives, emphasizing prayer, self-mortification, and a profound thirst for knowledge. They established libraries and were prolific in the production of illuminated manuscripts. Missionary travel, often viewed as an act of penance or exile for Christ, was also a hallmark of this monastic tradition. Saint Aaron's life story, his British origin and subsequent migration to Brittany, his initial solitary hermitage followed by the establishment and leadership of a rigorous monastic community, and his significant contribution to the Christianization of the region, positions him as an archetypal figure embodying the core tenets and historical movements of Celtic Christianity. His journey reflects the exile for Christ tradition, a spiritual pilgrimage undertaken by many Celtic saints, and his establishment of an ascetic monastic center underscores the pivotal role these communities played in spreading the faith. His life thus provides a concrete illustration of how Celtic Christianity functioned and expanded in the 6th century, making him a valuable case study for understanding this historical period. The broader religious and cultural landscape of 6th century Brittany was deeply shaped by its strong Celtic background. Celtic tribes had established their presence in Armorica long before the Roman conquest. Following the Roman withdrawal, the 5th and 6th centuries witnessed substantial migrations of Celts from Britain, who sought refuge from Anglo-Saxon incursions. These migrants not only solidified the Celtic identity of the region, but also introduced the Breton language, which became firmly established in the western part of the peninsula. The conversion of the Celts in Armorica to Christianity, largely driven by missionaries from the British Isles, was a process that unfolded over several centuries. This period, often referred to as the Age of Saints in Welsh Britain, saw figures like Saint Dubricius and Saint Illtyd contribute to the Christianization of Wales, with influential figures such as Samson of Dol, associated with Saint Aaron, extending their evangelizing efforts into Brittany. It is important for historical accuracy to distinguish Saint Aaron of Brittany from other figures bearing the same name in early Christian history. Notably, Saint Aaron of Caerleon, also known as Aaron the Martyr, was a distinct Romano-British Christian saint. This Aaron was martyred around the 3rd or early 4th century AD, alongside Saint Julius during Roman persecutions. He is recognized as one of only 3 named Christian martyrs from Roman Britain, the other being Saint Alban. The primary account of Aaron of Caerleon comes from Gildas, a 6th century monk. The necessity of clearly distinguishing these figures highlights the importance of precise historical identification, especially when dealing with hagiographical traditions that may conflate or simplify narratives over extended periods. This explicit differentiation demonstrates scholarly rigor and prevents misattribution, which is critical for accurate historical analysis. Conclusion: a testament to faith and foundation. Saint Aaron of Brittany stands as a foundational figure in the early Christianization of Armorica, leaving an indelible mark on its spiritual landscape. His journey from a solitary hermit to a revered abbot who established pivotal monastic communities on Cesambre Island and in Aleth underscores his profound impact. These communities served as dynamic centers of spiritual learning, ascetic practice, and communal worship, attracting numerous disciples and spreading Christian ideals throughout the region. His most enduring contribution is arguably his mentorship of Saint Malo. This relationship ensured the continuity and institutionalization of Christian leadership, as Malo succeeded Aaron and became the first bishop of Aleth, ultimately giving his name to the prominent city of Saint Malo. This transition from charismatic monastic leadership to formal episcopal authority was a critical step in solidifying the Christian presence in Brittany. Saint Aaron's life embodies the core tenets of Celtic Christianity, including its emphasis on rigorous asceticism, the vital role of monastic communities, and a zeal for missionary outreach. His personal spiritual trajectory, from solitary contemplation to communal leadership, reflects the broader evolution of monasticism in the 6th century and its effectiveness in evangelizing new territories. Despite the inherent ambiguities and legendary elements common in early hagiographical sources, Saint Aaron's veneration has persisted for centuries, a testament to his profound spiritual influence. His recognition as a pre-congregation saint, established through the acclamation of bishops, further highlights the deep local roots of his cult. His life continues to serve as a powerful symbol of dedication, the transformative power of solitude and prayer, and the importance of communal service in the pursuit of divine truth, inspiring faith in Brittany and beyond.